Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to learn how to evaluate the tangent of an angle. Alright, so we learned before, we know that the unit circle the x-axis represents the cosine function. The y-axis represents the sine function. Right, so this is the y values and this is the s value. Now, suppose I have the point on the unit circle. So this is point P. Alright, so the initial rate should be right here. And the terminal rate should be right here. And the angle theta is going to be this one, right? And then P rotate counterclockwise direction, right? Now, to find the tangent, I'm gonna create the right triangle, right? So, from point P, I project down to the x-axis. So this is the y value, right? Now, the s value is gonna be right here, right? Alright, so tangent theta is gonna be opposite over adjacent, right? So opposite, which is y, adjacent, which is s, right? So y actually the rise, right? And s, which means run, right? So this actually rise over run, right? And then we learn in algebra 1, when you calculate the ratio rise over run, this is the slope of the line, right? So basically, tangent theta is the slope of the terminal rate, right? Sine, which means y, right? Cosine, which means s. So that's why we have this one. Alright. Now, one more thing. Tangent function is an odd function because tangent function is going to be sine divided by cosine. Now, since sine is an odd function, right? Look at this one. And cosine is an even function right here. Alright, so tangent is an odd function, right? So because it's an odd function, it's symmetric about the origin. So then you have the tangent of negative theta equals tangent of theta by using the formula right here. Now, when terminal rate is vertical, right? So for example, terminal rate go over here. And then this guy equals 90 degree, right? Angle theta equals 90 degree. So you have tangent theta equals sine theta divided by cosine theta. Alright, so theta in this situation equals pi over 2, right? So it could be sine pi over 2 divided by cosine pi over 2, right? Sine pi over 2 equals 1, right? We learned it before, right? The value of the y coordinate right here. So it's going to be 1. Cosine pi over 2 equals 0. The x value of the coordinate points right here, right? So 1 divided by 0 is going to be undefined, right? And then theta equals pi over 2 is one of the vertical asymptotes of the tangent function. We will learn this one in the next lesson. Now let's calculate the value of tangent of pi over 6. So we know that tangent of pi over 6 equals sine of pi over 6 divided by cosine of pi over 6. Sine of pi over 6 is going to be the y value of the coordinate points right here, right? So it should be 1/2 divided by cosine of pi over 6, which is the s value right here. So it should be √3 over 2. Now I'm going to multiply the top and bottom by 2, right? So then I'm going to simplify this one. So the answer is 1 over √3, right? Now if you want to radicalize this one, so just multiply the top and bottom by √3, right? So the answer should be root 3 over 3, right? Now let's take a look at this guy right here. Tangent of 7 pi over 4 equals sine of 7 pi over 4 divided by cosine of 7 pi over 4, right? Now pi over 4 is going to be half of the first quadrant, right? This is 2 pi over 4. This is 3 pi over 4. This is 4 pi over 4. This is 5 pi over 4. This is 6 pi over 4. And this is 7 pi over 4, right? So 7 pi over 4 is going to be reflected with the pi over 4 over the x-axis, right? So they have the same x value but opposite y value, right? Now you know that pi over 4 right here, the coordinate point of sine and cosine should be root 2 over 2, right? And then this point should be x value stay, right? So it could be root 2 over 2. Y value opposite, right? So negative root 2 over 2. You substitute over here, you have sine of 7 pi over 4 equals negative root 2 over 2 divided by root 2 over 2, right? So the answer must be negative 1, right? Now let's move on to this one. Tangent of 3 pi over 2 is going to be sine of 3 pi over 2 divided by cosine of 3 pi over 2, right? So it's going to be this point right here, sine of 3 pi over 2, which means the y value right here is going to be negative 1. So it's going to be negative 1 divided by cosine of 3 pi over 2, which is the x value right here, right? So it's going to be 0. The answer is undefined, right? And keep in mind, 3 pi over 2 is one of the vertical asymptotes of the tangent function, right? It's going to be right here, which is you will learn in the next lesson, right? Now tangent of pi over 2 is going to be similar to tangent of 3 pi over 2. It's still undefined, right? Now I'm going to leave the rest for you to practice. Now let's move on to the next example. So let's take a look at this one right here. We need to find the tangent of angle theta, and then the coordinate points right here. We use the formula right here. Alright, so tangent theta equals y over s, right? So tangent of theta equals y value equals root 13 over negative 6. So it could be negative root 13 over 6, right? It's very simple, right? Now I'm going to leave the rest one for you to practice. Now let's take a look at the next example. We know that the tangent function is odd, right? So we have tangent of negative pi over 3. It's going to be negative tangent of pi over 3, right? Now we just leave the negative side right here. Tangent of pi over 3 is going to be the points right here, right? So should be y divided by s, right? So it should be root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2, which is multiplied by 2 over 1, right? So 2 and 2 cancel out. The answer is negative root 3, right? Now let's take a look at the number 13 right here. So this is the same thing, right? So it's going to be negative tangent of 16 pi over 3, right? Now this one is the same thing as negative of sine 16 pi over 3 divided by cosine of 16 pi over 3, right? And I know that the sine function and cosine function have the period 2 pi, right? So after a complete cycle, let's go back to original spot, right? So this one right here, 16 pi over 3, I just rewrite this one in terms of multiple of 2 pi, right? 16 pi over 3, I just rewrite the bottom 3 right here. Now the numerator, I split this guy into two numbers. so that when I divide by 3, I get the multiple of 2. So does that mean I get 4 pi and 12 pi, right? Because 12 pi divided by 3 is going to be 4 pi. 4 pi is the multiple of 2 pi, right? The bottom, I do exactly the same thing. Alright, so it's going to be negative sine of. Now I split this guy into two fractions. It's going to be 4 pi over 3 plus 12 pi over 3, right? 12 pi over 3 equals 4 pi, right? Now the bottom, cosine of 4 pi over 3 plus 12 pi divided by 3 is going to be 4 pi, right? Now, because 4 pi is the multiple of 2 pi, right? This is actually 2 times 2 pi, right? So I just ignore this one, right? So this guy is the same thing as negative sine of 4 pi over 3 divided by cosine of 4 pi over 3. Alright, so I look at this guy right here. 4 pi over 3 is going to be right here. Alright, sine, which means the y value, so it can be negative root 3 over 2, right? So I have negative sine right here and negative root 3 over 2 divided by negative 1/2 right here, right? Negative 1/2, right? So I multiply the top and bottom by 2, right? And I have negatives right here cancel out, so I have one more negative side right here. So the answer must be negative. This guy cancel out, this guy cancel out. The answer is root 3. Now let's take a look at this one right here, number 14. Tangent of 150 is the same thing as tangent of 5 pi over 6, right? So you have the point 5 pi over 6 right here, right? So it's going to be equal to sine divided by cosine of y divided by s, right? So y equals 1/2 divided by s is going to be negative root 3 over 2, right? So multiply the top and bottom by 2. So it's going to be negative 1 over root 3. And if you want to calculate this one, it's going to be negative root 3 over 3, right? Now let's take a look at number 15 right here. So this guy is the same thing as negative of tangent 10 pi over 3, right? So this one can be written as negative sine of 10 pi over 3 divided by cosine of 10 pi over 3, right? So I know that the periods of sine and cosine should be 2 pi, right? So I just split this one in terms of 2 pi, right? So I look at the bottom right here, I see 3, right? So I need to split 10 pi into two integers. One of those is the multiple of 3, right? So this guy is the same thing as negative sine of 4 pi plus 6 pi divided by 3, right? Because 6 pi divisible by 3, right? Now the bottom, I do exactly the same thing, right? So 4 pi over 3 plus 6 pi over 3, right? Now I know that this guy is 2 pi, right? So I just ignore this one, right? So I only have negative sine of 4 pi over 3 divided by cosine of 4 pi over 3. Now sine of 4 pi over 3 is going to be the value of y right here. So it should be negative and negative root 3 over 2 divided by negative 1/2 right here, right? So I multiply the top and bottom by 2, right? And this guy cancel out, this guy cancel out, negative gone. So the answer should be negative root 3, right? Now let's take a look at the last example, number 18 right here. Alright, so I have tangent of 765 degrees, right? So this guy is the same thing as, now I know that 2 pi is going to be the same thing as 360 degrees, right? So I need to write this one in terms of 360 degrees, right? So it's going to be sine of 765 divided by cosine of 765, right? Now, this guy is the same thing as sine of 765. I can split this one into two integers. One of those divisible by 360, right? So it turns out to be 720, right? And then I have 45 left right here. Alright, cosine of 45 plus 720, right? Now, this guy actually the multiple of 360, so I just ignore this one, right? I just ignore this one. So this guy is the same thing as sine of 45 divided by cosine of 45. So it's going to be root 2 over 2 divided by root 2 over 2. So the answer is 1, right? Now I'm going to leave the rest one for you to practice. I'm going to provide you with the key. Here's the online practice which gives you immediate feedback. Please check out the link in the description below to practice. Now you can adjust the left column right here based on your preference, right? The length is going to be how many questions right here. Alright, so you just hit 5 or you just hit 10, 20, something like that. You have level 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, timer, yes or no. Right, feedback, you need to put on. Now, if you want to practice with sine, you leave sine, right? In degree or radian or both. Now, if you want to practice tangent only, you just use tangent, right? And it's your time to stop. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember that if you failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail.
We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine.